Guys, this is Holly with Curated Homeschooling. Today I wanted to share what we're going to be doing with my 11th grader this year. He has been homeschooling since he was in preschool, so we've homeschooled him all the way through, and so this will be his 12th year doing formal homeschool education at home. He has 5 siblings that are younger than him, so he's the oldest of 6. And a little bit about our homeschool is that we divide our year into units. Our first unit of the year is going to be a 4-week unit that's going to be happening in August. I tend to have a kind of a gentle first unit, I would say, that involves more fun things, especially for our younger kids. It works out pretty nicely for him too because he's going to be working full-time still. We will have things like dance camps happening for my daughters, swim lessons happening for my younger kids. My son is going to has plenty of other high school age friends that he likes to hang out with during the summer who are still going to be on a summer schedule until September. And so I like to get us back into good habits with schooling, make sure that they know what the coursework that they're going to be doing this year is, as well as get their schedule kind of started into homeschooling again. I find that doing a little bit of school in August just to kind of recalibrate ourselves essentially and get back into the habit of the swing of things slowly works really well. It also helps for them to be able to get into if they have some online classes, it will help them so that they know how to log in, how to access the website and navigate through the website if it's a curriculum they've never done before. Some of them are using curriculum that they've used before, so it's that those curricula are more natural to get back into. But some of the things that are new, they might need to develop new strategies or habits or gain more knowledge of, how to get to the website, how to log in, how to figure out what they need to have access to or what order things need to go in. So I find that doing a short unit at the very beginning of the school year really just helps us to get back into things. And then usually in September we have a longer unit, so we'll have a 10-week unit that we start in September that will go all the way from September through October and into the first week of November, that we're going to be covering grace. And that's going to be a heavier unit that's going to be going further into language arts and history and just some more book heavy and some dense ideas and things like that. I find that that's usually one of our best units of the year. The kids are usually really motivated. They're not, they don't have that like spring wanting to be done with school feeling going on yet. And so I find that when we schedule that to be kind of some really dense reading and material and writing and we can really dig into those things, and utilizing that time that way usually makes that one of our best units. So yeah, I'm not really seeking that for this unit. I'm seeking more of a let's dip our toes in. Let's adjust to the cold water of getting back into school, something like that. Anyway, so what we've decided to do is study the rainforest, South America, and I'm going to show you the things that he's going to be doing this year. So all right, let's go ahead and get started with geography. This is something that I'm planning to do with both of my high schoolers. My junior and my freshman have been working through world geography together for the last couple of years, or maybe it's just been my junior has been working through Notgrass World Geography for a couple of years. My daughter joined him starting last year. So she did this last year with him. Anyway, so we, of course, are going to be learning about South America. And instead of just reading through this book as a whole, we've been just selecting the areas of the world that we're learning about during that unit. So during this first 4 weeks, they will be reading the chapter 27 and chapter 28 that's about South America. And so they will do that together. And then they also generally watch the Guest Hollow high school geography lessons together. And so there's 2 lessons that cover South America. Week 8 and week 9 cover the countries within South America. So they will go through the videos that are linked from Guest Hollow, and they will do some of the worksheets that are connected to this. And I just have those printed for them to be able to fill out. Also for geography, we will be doing a little bit of map work through Memoria Press's Geography 3. Geography 3 covers South America. Geography 3, I think, covers all of the world. But there is a section that's Unit 5 that covers Central and South America. So we will be using Memoria Press for my 5th. I don't know if my 3rd grader will do this, but my 5th grader, my 8th grader, no, my 5th grader, my 7th grader, my freshman, and my and the 11th grader will do some map work using this. And then as a whole family, we will be going through this beautiful Earth, South and Central America and Europe. That's through Simply Charlotte Mason. This is their new geography curriculum, and we will just be using this during our family time. And they do have the curricula divided into grades, so that we will do part of this with my 5th through 8th grader, and then I'll work with my 9th through 12th grader to do that part. So those are the things for geography. Some individual things my son is going to be doing is exploring economics through Notgrass. He is going to be working through this year. I also have I have the government textbook already, and it was kind of a toss-up whether we would do government this year or economics. At this point, I think he's leaning towards doing economics, so we will work through this, and I have the workbooks that go along with this book as well. He will be finishing his geometry through Denison. He started this back in March, and so he's been working through this, and he will complete this before moving on to Algebra 2. He also has chosen to do Spanish, and he's Flip-Flap Spanish is a Spanish curriculum for elementary students, and my son is going to be doing their high school level 1 Spanish that is on their website. It has a printable workbook. I think you can also purchase it printed, but it has videos that you can purchase, or it has a subscription that you can do. And it's the Spanish Geniuses course. And you can either choose a pay-as-you-go option, or you can choose the subscription. My son is going to be doing the pay-as-you-go option. And they also have a suggested textbook, which is the Spanish Now. I think it's the 8th edition of the book that we went ahead and got used on Amazon. And so this is what he's going to be doing for a foreign language this year. He works construction during the summer months, and sometimes during the school year as well. He's had the same position in a construction company since he was 14 years old, and many of the people on his crew speak primarily Spanish. He has a couple on the crew that only speak Spanish, and so he's found it to be useful to go ahead and learn how to speak Spanish. For science, to begin the year, we're going to finish up biology. We started this in November last year, and he's gotten mostly done, but he has a few different units we need to complete in order to complete this credit. So we saved the chapter 15 and chapter 16 on environmental science and ecosystems, because these two chapters correspond really well with learning about South America and the rainforest. These are many of the same topics that my elementary school and middle school students will be learning at the same time. So this way we will all be, as a family, kind of learning about the same things. My daughter, who's a freshman, also was doing biology with my son last year. So they're at the same place. They will be doing this together. And there are, this is Discovering Design with Biology by Dr. J. Weil, and it's through Berean Builders. And on their website, you can purchase videos that accompany this, and there's also labs that you can get, there's labs within the book, and you can purchase a lab kit to do those labs. And then there's also a workbook, but the workbook you can print on their website for free. And so it ends up being a fairly in-depth, well, not fairly, it's very in-depth. I would say it's college preparatory level, but also it's a very economical choice. And so we've really enjoyed this. It's worked really well for my son and daughter to be able to do this together. And we plan on going ahead and doing chemistry after we finish this towards the beginning of the year. My son requested finding a drawing curriculum that had learning about how to draw faces. He did some projects last year where he had to draw an eye and lips and a nose, and he really enjoyed learning that. He's loved to draw for many years now, and he's really good at landscapes and buildings and animals. He's actually pretty good at drawing animals as well. And so he really wanted to kind of advance his drawing skills in learning how to draw realistic facial expression. So we found this. It's called This Is Not a Sketchbook. It's an art class, and it has QR codes, so he can scan those and then watch the teacher do the lesson, and then he can complete the lesson within the book. And so this will be something he can do this year on his own, and I'm counting this as a drawing course for an elective this year. All right, another course he's chosen to do this year is Automotive Fundamentals, and this is the textbook that this comes with. He's going to be doing this with his dad. He purchased his first car when he was 14. He had a summer job and was able to get a car that needed several things done to it in order to work, and so he ended up doing a bunch of engine work with his dad and learning how to swap out a bunch of different parts and getting that car up and running. And that's the car he's used now when he was 15 and then 16, and it works great. And so he actually owns his first car. He paid for it himself and did all of the work on it and things like that. So auto fundamentals is something he's really going to enjoy doing. It's something he's probably looking forward to doing the most this year. He got the textbook and was wanting to start reading it already. So I'm excited for him to be able to do that. I think it'll be something that is just right up his alley. And with that, he's going to be doing chemistry later this year through Berean. And so I went ahead and got understanding chemistry through cars. My husband read through the first probably 4 chapters of this, and he noticed that there was a few incorrect examples given. And so he put some notes that he wanted to basically things he wanted to point out as we're going through this that weren't quite correct. Anyway, but this is something, the chemistry and the auto fundamentals are 2 things that my son will be doing hand in hand a little bit with his dad, who also enjoys cars and chemistry. So that will be great. All right, for a brain warm-up this year, we are going to be diving into practical critical thinking. I'm planning on just using this for the first semester, so from August through January. Hopefully we'll be getting most of this done, and I'm going to be working with both my freshman and junior this year on this together. This will just be part of our warm-up when we're doing our language arts. I'm excited about it because it's going to be an introduction to some of the things that we're going to be diving into very in depth this fall, into analyzing arguments and identifying fallacies. And so this will be just kind of a quick warm-up we'll do at the beginning of our language arts time. In August, we're going to be doing Advanced Academic Writing 1 with Michael Clay Thompson. My goal for this, actually, for the first semester, that first 4 weeks, is to look at examples of what academic writing looks like. We're going to be looking at MLA format, looking at things like integrity in academic writing and what plagiarism is. And we're also going to be looking at just kind of the expectations that would be looked for if you were in an academic setting, and then we were making more of an advanced work that you were wanting to submit if you were in college or in more of a formal setting. So we'll be using this. It gives some great examples of work throughout it. Towards the end of the book, it also gives some assignments that we will plan to do in the second semester of the school year. This is more of just kind of an overview. I want to give them kind of an overview of where a big picture look at where we're going, that we're going to be learning about academic writing towards the end of the school year. We're going to be diving more in the first part of the school year into thinking about how do you build a good thesis statement, and how do you support an argument really well, and what is a syllogism and an enthymeme, and just kind of the idea of rhetoric and dialect, and some of the things that you run into with classical education, and that sort of thing when we're learning about Greece and Rome, and we're going to get into things like Plato's Cave and Aristotle, and some of those kinds of more advanced critical thinking things, ideas. And so that's kind of what our main focal point will be for the fall. But then when we get into the spring, we're going to be pushing to begin adding those things more into our writing this year, so that next year I'm hoping that we can combine all of that knowledge to be able to make some advanced academic papers that they can become comfortable with doing that if they choose to go to college. We're going to be learning about Emily Dickinson this fall, and so I pulled out some of these high school, The Good and the Beautiful workbooks. Some of these we've actually already completed, but I thought that we could look back and look at some Emily Dickinson poetry through these. This one also has practicing a thesis statement, which is going to tie into some of the things we're going to be doing this fall, so we might use that, as well as this one goes into the history of theater, which will be great when we're learning about Greece, and it also goes into a research project and writing a research paper, which is something that I'm hoping we can get to in the second semester. So we will utilize these books this year again. And then my daughter and my son will be doing a health and nutrition credit together this year, and we will be using Apologia's health and nutrition textbook in order to do that. We've already finished module 1 that went over who am I and why does health matter. It gets into DNA and also a little bit into genetics and temperament. The second module is on physical influences on thought and feelings, and it gets into the nervous system and the kind of the brain and how it works. And so I'm planning on doing about generally 2 modules per month and having us do this together. Once we get towards the end of the year, there is a module that covers sexual reproduction, and I know that they would be more comfortable doing that independently, and so I will have them do that chapter on their own. But that is something that they will be doing together as well. In addition to the books that I've shown you today, my kids are going to be my high school kids are going to be taking an apologetics class outside of our homeschool. They have been taking classes with a co-op for the last year or so, and that has been really great for them to be able to hang out with other high schoolers. And last year it was a speech and debate class. This year they're diving into apologetics, and so that's going to be really great for them as well. Other than that, this is basically what we have planned for our first 4 weeks of school. I forgot that we also have reading. I'm just going to encourage my junior this first 4 weeks to read some sort of self-improvement type book. I have a whole list of books that I think could be interesting for him to read. So I'm going to allow him to select whichever book he wants to read, and just go ahead and have that be kind of a free read for him. He's going to have some more difficult literature to read later this into the fall. Things like, the Odyssey and the Iliad, and some like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. We're going to be getting into some stuff. So I really want him to kind of, be able to pick a book that's interesting to him, and maybe something that is in a that is about something that, will inspire him as he starts his junior year, whether that's a book on, developing goals and following through on them, or whatnot. I have a list of books that I'm interested in him reading, and I can share with you later kind of what he chooses and how that goes. Anyway, we're really excited to get the school year up and going again, and to see how this first unit turns out. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm a brand new YouTuber, and it would encourage me to have that feedback. Have a great day.